this time. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song.
Can you hear me?
Okay, so we're live. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Well, finally. So, okay. Well, first things first, I guess who we are. Dr. Tiffany Alexis Nyberg, and I am I'm an open trans woman who is living in Monroe, Louisiana.
I am Selena Williams, and I am both a YouTuber and an activist for trans rights.
This is my first actual overt activism move of any type. So kind of a check off on the bucket list here.
This is my first kind of live debate panel.
So
Not debate, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So well, when you contacted me the other day, I have been doing a lot of thinking about what seems like just an absolute coordinated tsunami of anti-trans bills that have been going on. Well, it's something that's really been bothering me, and I did not have an idea about the right way, right platforms with which to actually do something about it, but it was actually literally keeping me awake at night. So actually, when you contacted me, that was very serendipitous, because I'd spent most of the day writing up a couple of posts to put on places about, how I felt about that, why
Me
it was
too.
all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's kept me up at night as well. With the record high trans bills going on right now.
Yeah, because it kind of feels like we're under attack, and we are, and it's by a concerted effort, because 82 bills in 3 months don't get filed accidentally. That's the all-time record.
And then they're also spreading lies about us as well.
Yeah, there is that. All these things I kind of wanted to cover, and then I wanted to, and go on a little bit about what we're actually trying to do about this, because I'm not really very good at just sitting and taking it. So.
Me either.
So 82 bills. Okay, that's an absolute record. Okay, last year held the previous record, because 2020 and pretty much everything in 2020 was just horrible. So why should that be any exception? But hopefully, we're kind of hoping that was a fluke, because they topped out at 79, and it took them a whole year to get there. They've gotten 82, and it's not even all the way through March. At least it's over halfway through March, but maybe they can, hit 300 if they really try. That's 82 different ways of making things about us, or things that we do, illegal. And it's in at least 21 states that are doing this, at least 21 states. I haven't looked up the latest figures, because I've got 3 jobs and I've been really busy. So, I don't know why all of a sudden they chose now to attack us. And I don't know why all of a sudden they chose now to attack us across the board, aiming at our most vulnerable populations in a demographic that's already one of the most vulnerable in the United States. Because most of these things are aimed at kids. They're aimed at trans kids.
They are.
And it really bothers me because, at least when they're aiming at all of us, they're aiming at all of us. Now they're picking out the most scared and weak among us.
They
Acting
are,
like
and that's
predators.
sad.
They are acting like predators. So, and that something about that just sticks in my throat. I just couldn't be quiet about it. I'm not much of a stand in public and scream things person. Like I said, it's the first time of any form of activism I've ever done. I just think that this is something that I can't shut up about. I can't just sit and be quiet about. I won't be able to be okay with myself if I don't. I know you feel the same.
I do.
And I know that at least I'm an experienced that's speaking in public and in front of people, and it's even harder when you don't regularly do such things. So thank you for coming.
You're welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Open that. And the objective of this is not to win some global fight or to get some, privileges or something like that no one else has or anything. It's to be allowed to do normal things. It's allowed to be
Exactly.
to be able to use the bathroom,
Mm.
whether you're an adult or a kid, in a manner consistent with your gender identity, not some arbitrary thing on your driver's license. It's the right not to dominate sports, but just to participate. I will get to more on that in a little bit because there's some other things that need to be covered there. The right to actually get our names changed legally, okay? Because if you're not trans, you don't understand how hurtful it is to be called by a name that you don't want to be known by. That it literally hurts your being every time it's said, and this happens hundreds of times a year to every trans person that is alive on Earth right now. And we're not asking for privileges. We're just asking to maybe have things not be as painful.
Exactly. And if a non-trans person wanted to be called something else, it wouldn't be an issue. But it seems that when most trans people want to be called by a different name, then suddenly it's a problem.
Yeah, because in most people's worldviews, they can't accept the fact that somebody who they see as a grown man might want to be called Tiffany. Okay, since I've only wanted that name since I was 6. Okay, and I'm not a grown man; I'm a grown woman. Okay, I just didn't have the correct DNA at birth. Okay, trans people, there's science behind this. Okay, people know why trans occurs. Okay, it's not some voodoo. It's not some, all of a sudden midlife crisis. It's not a lifestyle choice. A lot of us have known since we were little, tiny kids. Okay, not even little kids. I've known since I was 4. Some people figure it out when they're teenagers. Some people figure it out much later when they realize that the source of that anger and discontent they felt all their life is like that. They are no less valid. But none of them chose this. No one in their right mind would choose to be transgender.
They wouldn't.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said they wouldn't.
I mean, no one would choose to have, people laugh at you. No one would choose to always be called the wrong name in your mind. No one would choose to, face join the only demographic where it's still legal to actively discriminate against us in all aspects of society in many states. Okay, employment, housing, whether or not we can get married, whether or not we could have kids, whether or not we can go to the damn bathroom. I had plenty of friends and respect and everything in my life, and I'm fortunate in that most of my friends have stood with me. I happen to know wonderful people, but most everyone isn't as lucky. And I still face those other things. I still have to think twice before I stop to use the bathroom somewhere. I still think twice, I still several times a week, I have to deal with someone who cannot accept the fact that my name is Tiffany. I try to order a pizza and they hang up because I think I'm pranking them. I'm just terrified if you accidentally get pulled over for speeding, that the cop might have a hate on you and accuse you of trying to be in disguise. These are things that actually happen. So we don't need bills making it harder.
We don't.
So let's just talk about some specifics on this, okay?
Okay.
These 82 bills, okay? At least 20 of them are dealing with banning transgender kids basically from the athletics with the gender they identify with. Some of them only ban trans women, okay? Others ban just trans people in general, okay? These are in the youth sports because of the fear that, trans women will dominate youth sports because they're genetically male, or that they do funny things in the locker rooms, or that some genetic male would pretend to be trans in order to have an advantage. That last one is so ridiculous that honestly, I'm not even going to dignify that. Okay, just heard me talk about exactly the, just a few of the joys of what we experienced. No one's going to do that voluntarily, at least not for more than a week. That's for sure.
Exactly.
And they're not going to take hormones and change their bodies permanently either, okay? Because that's not something people who aren't trans do. If there's any cis people listening to this, that's the reason you've never had those thoughts, okay? But for trans people, they occur all the time. Okay, so the domination of sports. So far, there have been 3 instances where a trans woman has been a champion in their event. Okay, that is in the United States of America. 3 instances total. And in one of those instances, the person they beat the first time later beat them. So there were 2 track and field women in Connecticut that won their events. They were champions. There's 2 trans champions, too, in the United States, out of an estimated 200 to 500,000 school-age transgender people. We are more likely to be stung to death by bees than we are to actually be a high school or middle school champion at school. But people want to preemptively ban us just to do so, basically. There'll never be enough of us to actually dominate sports. At most, for 1 out of every 100 people, to somewhere between 1 out of every 300 to 1 out of every 100 people. And remember, like in anything else, athletic ability is distributed in a bell curve. So there's just not enough of us to be Olympic dominators.
There isn't.
There never will be. And not only that, but a lot of trans kids shy away from athletics because they don't want to go into the locker room and have people see their bodies which they don't feel is correct. So we are never going to participate in in even a proportionate percentage compared to other children. There's no laws necessary banning us. And it's just cruel to do so. But sometimes, maybe a kid would like to feel normal. Maybe they'd like to be on the volleyball team. Maybe all their friends are. Maybe they're lucky enough to live in a community that's somewhat accepting, and they do have friends. And they get to play. Why take that away from them? They're kids. And that also, being able to be a part of community and have acceptance, it's incredibly potent at reducing depression and suicide, which is epidemic in transgender people. 40% of transgender children try to kill themselves before they are 18. They're 9 times more likely to succeed. Youth sports and acceptance in community, when trans kids are given the same acceptance as cisgender children, when they have a loving family and a community that supports them, that those statistics aren't valid. They don't kill themselves any more frequently than anyone else does. When we're banning these sports and these opportunities for transgender children, we're not only removing them from their friends, we're subjecting them to bullying by a gender that might look down on them because they're not of that. So we're making it worse for them, and we're making it more likely for them to hurt themselves and for others to hurt. And this is so incredibly cruel that I can't possibly emphasize that enough. I can't possibly emphasize this enough. This is, on the one hand, you have 2 transgender champions, and on the other hand, you have 1,000 or more transgender kids that kill themselves every year. We're not going to make it impossible for cisgender girls to win their events.
We are.
That maybe a few of us will graduate high school with pride in something we did, and maybe a whole lot of us won't kill ourselves. It makes that much of a difference. So the people that are putting these anti-trans bills too, they they're also just plain lying about us.
They are.
They're saying we're risks in the bathrooms, that we're all pedophiles or sex predators, and that's why we want to use the bathrooms. I challenge anyone to look up the number of assaults that have happened in restrooms and how many were actually done by trans people, and versus how many in which the trans people were the victims. It's so lopsided, it's not even funny. And when trans people are made to use, like say, for example, if I'm forced to use the men's restroom, somebody may just decide that they just want to, beat the heck out of it. Because, I'm not saying that I'm raving beauty or anything like that. I definitely don't look like I'm trying to be a man. So.
And then, while they're spreading lies about us, it also increases the likelihood that we get killed.
Yeah. And it also stigmatizes us. It perpetuates false stereotypes of us as some sort of sex thing or deviancy or something like that. People don't even stop to think that maybe if you're on, hormones, that doesn't even happen.
Because it causes fear, and then people think that by killing us they're making some difference.
Yeah, they're doing the world a favor by getting rid of us. By the way, anyone who's listening to this that's not trans, how do you think that makes us feel? I'm 45 years old. I've spent my whole life helping other people. I've been an EMT since I was 20, okay? I did disaster response in Hurricane Katrina. I have had people try to kill me in line of duty. I've been in car wrecks, I've broken bones. I've handed out triage tags on 4 different occasions. Mass casualty events, a bus wreck, a tornado, mass shootings, Superdome during Katrina, water rescue during Katrina, and I worked in some of the busiest emergency departments on the planet. Because that's what I wanted to do, because I like helping people. But the world, in some people's eyes, is better off without the likes of people like me. because I'd rather be pretty than handsome. So, we're not going to ruin sports. We're not going to ruin the bathroom. We're not going to do anything like that. By the way, you know how hard it is to drive to see your family when you can't stop in certain states because maybe they are trying to pass anti-trans bathroom ordinances? Try doing an interstate trip and thinking about that next time. So here's what we're going to do about it, okay? We've introduced a petition on change.org, okay? It's not a petition to give us, rights that other people don't have. It's a petition that simply put the United States Congress to pass a law affirming that we have the same rights as everyone else and that states cannot pass individual states cannot pass discriminatory laws aimed at us. That we would just consider that this avalanche of all these states trying to outlaw us in various ways, that it be stopped. Because it is the law of the land. The Supreme Court ruled on that last year. It's not up to the state governor to decide that they want to just hate on us, and it's not just trans people that this affects too. Remember, they're making it a felony for doctors to treat trans kids in some states. Either Mississippi or Alabama passed that law, or is trying to pass that law, a felony. For a pediatrician who cares about their kids, their patients' well-being, to do the right thing. So please sign our petition.
Please sign. Yeah, please sign it.
Please help us stop the hate and let us be a part of the community like everyone else. And maybe our kids kill themselves as often. There's also a similar position that is linked. That's also in the UK. That's for the same thing. Okay. Let them have our support. They're actually getting a little worse than we are these days. Finally, we're not the enemy. We're not the bad guys. We're your daughters, we're your sons, we're fathers and we're mothers, and brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. We are your neighbors and your friends. Some of us you see, some of us you don't see. But we've always been there since the dawn of time, and we're always going to be there, because this is one of the types of people that humankind produces. It's not, we're not a disease. This isn't pathology. So we love our kids. We love our parents. We love our brothers. We love our sisters. The little ones like our Eskimo kisses. We like music. We like decorating. We like trans males like fast cars and racing, just like other males do. I like butterflies and my kids. That's who we are. We're not demons or bad or anything like that. We'd stop and help you on the side of the road just like you would someone else.
We would. We're humans, just like you are.
Look at us, look us in the eyes, learn who we are, ask us questions. Learn we're human beings. Please. And if you decide that you don't agree, just go about your business. We're not going to make you do anything or anything like that. Just let us be. And by be, I mean exist like everyone else does, having the same rights like everyone else does. That is all that I have.
I don't have anything else to add as well.
So, my name is Tiffany Alexis Nyberg. I'm not new. I've always been here. I'm a proud trans woman. I'm a doctor. And I do anything to help anybody, even if you hate me. Okay? And I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this message. Please sign our petition. Please.
I'm Selena Williams, and a proud trans woman as well. It would mean a lot if you could sign our petition and put the end to all the hate.
And wherever you are, be good to each other too.